There is a new credit scoring system in town, and I want to give you all the details that you need to know so you can figure out if your credit score is going to change dramatically or not. Hint, it might. When the new system will take place and what you can do to make sure your credit score remains all the way up, all right? So make sure you keep it locked for all that and more. It's Crystal with the Cash Compass. All right, welcome back. I am here to teach you all the things that you should have learned in school about money, but for whatever reason, they forgot to mention it. Please be sure to subscribe because we talk about everything from personal finance to investing to the economy. Let's get into it. So the people who made the FICO score said that the FICO scores actually had reached an all-time high. So they were like, let's go ahead and mess that up real quick. This scoring system was actually introduced back in January before the world literally turned upside down, and it was supposed to be implemented this summer, which is right now. But just because it's actually released this summer doesn't actually mean that people are going to be using it. So give me a second, I'll get right into that. So this new scoring is called FICO 10, okay? We actually have FICO 8, which is what majority of people use, and that was created in 2009. Not that you care about the release date, but nothing's wrong with a little bit of trivial knowledge, right? Lenders actually have the ability to choose whatever model they want to use, which is why when you are tracking your credit, it is crucial to use the correct model that's in line with the majority of what lenders actually use. And I actually have a video up here that gets into the credit models and, Credit Karma and things like that. So definitely check it out so you can make sure that you're using the right app and the right websites to track your credit. So what's changing with this new FICO system, right? My opinion is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But obviously, I don't run the country yet. For this new system, they actually want to migrate away from a snapshot into a look back for 2 years, okay? I thought only my ex looked back in the past, but apparently so did my credit score. So the way it works right now is your credit score is a snapshot, right? So let's say you were to pay off all your debt right now. Within 30 days, your credit score would be dramatically different because the credit score just takes a snapshot. So it would go to August and be like, okay, they don't have any debt, everything is paid off, they get an 800. With this new system, it's going to be like, okay, they just made this lump sum payment, but they was delinquent this month, that month. Back in 2018, they was tripping. So that's how it's going to work now. So if you actually had maybe not so good spending habits in the past and not really managing your money, then you will be affected much more than somebody who has been consistently paying down their debt, never having missed payments and things like that. But a quick side note, when people are really looking at loans, especially for things like your mortgages and your cars and things like that, they might not only just take your credit score as is, right? They'll actually look at your credit history, and your credit history actually goes back 7 years. And here I was thinking that 7 was actually a lucky number. So for somebody who was actually manually underwriting your loan, they would pretty much have access to 7 years. So it's not really terrible that this is going back 2 years, but it would definitely give somebody a red flag sooner than them actually having to comb through your credit history. So personal loans are also getting spanked too, in a bad way. Typically what people would do if they find themselves in a lot of credit card debt was they normally would maybe consolidate all of that into a personal loan, right? Because then you have a lower interest rate because let's be honest, credit cards are absolutely astronomical with the interest rates, right? So you would consolidate to get a better rate and then to have just one payment, not have to worry about chasing around a whole bunch of different cards. And I do have a video about personal loans, so if you want to check that out, click that. But unfortunately now, if you do that, you'll actually be penalized. So this FICO 10 score is actually going to hone in on more unsecured debt. So, if you have a mortgage, if you have student loans, it's not going to be weighed as heavily as consumer debt because that's unsecured, right? So you can go ahead and file bankruptcy and get rid of that. And obviously, that is a big red flag. These people are in the business of lending money and assessing risk. So they really want to take a closer look into your credit card spending habits in particular. And that makes sense, because if I was loading out money and I know there's a potential that I will never get it back, I do want to be a little bit more cautious about that. So with a mortgage, they can just snatch your home up. Auto loan, they can snatch your car up. Student loans, they can snatch your check. You get the point. They don't have those same capabilities with a credit card. So I ain't mad at them. If you already have a good credit score, chances are your credit score will remain good or even get better. Obviously, depending on what your credit mix is, if you seem to have less credit cards and more mortgages and more kind of like auto loans, then yes, you should see a positive uptick in your credit score. And the same goes on the opposite end of the spectrum. So if you already have a bad credit score and not the best payment history, then it might get worse. Okay, so we're gonna see another gap. Before we had the wealth gap, now we're going to have the credit score gap. Like I said, this is coming out this summer. I'm not sure exactly when it was released, but it's important to know that these companies are not required to actually use this, okay? FICO 9 is somewhere punch in the air right now because they're not even using FICO 9. People are still using FICO 8, and now we have FICO 10. So who knows if they're going to actually adopt this, but I'm thinking with the way this whole economic climate is going on and lenders are already trying to be a little bit more strict, if this is going to give them a better idea of risk, I do think it's likely that they'll be adopting this one because you're really capturing more of somebody's history. So for example, going back to the example I just had, if I paid everything off immediately, I'm going to look good on paper, but maybe I just got my stimulus check, maybe I got my tax return, and that's why I made that big payment. But maybe in my past, I'm not as responsible. So it's another way for them to kind of weed out the bad apple, so to speak. But if they do decide to adopt this, it won't actually happen right now, so you still have time to make changes. It said that most companies will actually adopt this in 2021. So that's a little bit of relief. And that basically means that within this 6-month period, you definitely have a chance to dramatically make changes to how that model will actually score you, right? Because if you maybe have been using your credit cards a lot, really try to hone in on not spending on your credit cards, or if you're spending on them, pay the balance off, or at least make sure the balance is going down, right? Because that's also a positive in this new model. And honestly, if you've been watching my channel long enough, you know I've been super strong on getting rid of credit card debt for more reasons than just your credit score. Even, let's forget the credit score for a moment. Credit cards are designed to keep you trapped in debt if you do not use them responsibly. And given that we have literally over $400 billion in credit card debt, most people do not use it responsibly, okay? Within these times where we have interest rates at rock bottom levels, credit cards really help banks kind of make up for that loss they're having in home mortgages, which are at, historically low levels, auto loans, which aren't that high either. So the credit cards where they can get in the double digits, yeah, they love that. They'll kind of bait you with a 0% interest, and then once you're in there, boom, it's over with. Another thing to consider is avoiding late payments, okay? Even if you make the minimum balance, obviously that's not the best situation, but do not make late payments. Please consider doing auto pay. If you are afraid of auto pay, you might have a problem with managing a budget, and you got to attack that first, right? Let's call it like it is. You shouldn't be afraid of auto pay. You should have it, at least me, the way I have my account set up is I have one account for leisure and I have one account for all my bills. All my bill money is in this one account, and I really just check it at the end of the month to make sure that it's, somewhere near zero. I always have a little bit of a buffer, but at any rate, all my bills come out of that account. So I have a peace of mind, and I have all my spending money in a separate account as well. So consider doing that. I think it makes a dramatic difference in your life, and you can have auto pay, and you won't miss any payments. Payment history will still make up 35% of your credit score, and I do have a video up here talking about the credit score breakdown if you want to check it out. It is an older video, so I don't know how good it is, but the information is still the same. Some people might go in the comments and say, well, you know what? It doesn't matter because I don't have any debt and I don't need my credit because I'm just such a boss. I pay for everything in cash. And okay, that's fine. If you follow someone like Dave Ramsey, who is like extremely anti-debt, you want to live a comfortable life, that makes sense, and I'm not mad at that, okay? You can just live your whole life off of cash. You don't have to ever go into debt again. But if you're looking to create dynastic wealth, right? Not just generational wealth, dynastic, okay? Your kids, grandkids are going to have that money. A lot of that comes from using leverage, which is taking out loans. So if you have a good credit score, it can allow you to have control of an asset that you normally wouldn't be able to have control of, right? Because most people don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars laying around to purchase a house, okay? But if you use leverage, you get a loan, you buy real estate, income producing real estate. And mind you, this is like a whole different topic, but if you really have a good credit score and you can get into these assets, you can make a lot of money. You can make a lot of passive income, and I call it passive because I don't think any income is really passive in this world, but at any rate, you can really earn income in your sleep no matter what you're doing, and you can really grow a life that you are extremely happy of and proud of financially. And yeah, all debt is not bad debt. Please kind of be educated on those two different things. Definitely consider fixing your credit score and improving it, because I think there will be a lot of sales with this recession. And when I say sales, I mean, I see real estate maybe taking a hit, maybe even autos taking a hit. And you want to be able to take control of these properties when most people cannot, because they will be tightening up their lending restrictions, okay? So definitely work on improving your credit. If you have great credit, you the best. You are a real one. You're going to be on the other side, right? The richer side of this rich and poor divide. We all gonna be on the rich side. All right? All right, and that will do it. If you like this video, please like this video and share with your friends. And if you have anything else going on, you know what to do. Go ahead and binge watch me. And until next time, keep your money up.